god, I just talk so much. Hola. So I wasn't planning on this working out this way. However, I spent so much time talking about the darn books that I am separating this thing I filmed into two separate videos because I think half an hour is like way too much. Never mind the extra time that this one's going to take. Anyway, this one is on grammar and kind of some books that are going to help you being a non-native person to the area. There's some that are on just general grammar and learning, where there are also some that help on the travel end of things should you be going to a different place, or that are actually kind of like tourist guides. So with no further ado, here's another video. The second to last section of books is nice and short. It's just about like tour guides and just general kind of information. The first one is Culture Sport Spain, which is a guide to kind of culture and etiquette in the country. This is a very short pocket-sized book that is good if you've never been. Having been twice and lived with a family, I kind of found a couple of things, particularly in the home life section, that I didn't really agree with. However, this is very good if you're going for business. And it just talks about all different kinds of ways to stay good in the Spanish people's eyes and how their etiquette is different to ours. Talks about simple things like how they eat later, how they have siesta, how things are when things are open and closed, just kind of how they shop, what they do for fun, how to travel on public transport, business briefing and communicating with people. And it gives you actually an overview of all the different regions of Spain. So it's good if you've never been. It cost $10. I wasn't overly impressed by it, but again, I'd already kind of been, so I don't feel like I really learned anything new from this book, but it's good for a first-time traveler. This hefty, The Rough Guide to Spain is a book that I plan on bringing with me. This is an incredible reference. As we can see, I've started reading it, and I've just kind of marked off all the places I'm thinking of going. Specifically, the Madrid section is long. The Madrid section is a good 50 pages by itself, and this book is not small, but and the font, as we can see, is tiny. You can get information on nearly every city in Spain in this book. It might be a very short section, however, you will find something of a tourist attraction, hotels, food, stuff like that, and transportation information you will find in this book. And it's been crazy actually how much information I've learned about places, because you might think you want to go to a museum. In this book, there was one in particular in Madrid that was like, yeah, this museum houses this really cool painting. However, that is the only thing worth noting in the entire museum, so you shouldn't really bother going. So if you need a tour guide, this is really cool, and it's $25. I personally plan on taking this with me despite the fact that it is hefty. I say it's worth the money. I mean, just the amount of information you get in here is great. And the last book on the kind of travel end is this little book. I got this when I went to Barcelona, and it was the most helpful thing I have ever found. If you are thinking about getting a map of the area you're staying in, don't get this book. First, the important stuff, it has a metro map. And please, I mean, if you're thinking about printing out a metro map and getting a map, get this book, because this metro map we will have with you at all times. You won't lose it, it won't fray, it won't rip. This is good. And it has fold-out pages that show you all different kinds of stuff that you can see, and places you can stay, places you can eat. It's great. And this one, particularly for Barcelona, they have them for all kinds of cities: Amsterdam, Athens, Bangkok, Beijing, Berlin, Boston, Madrid, Milan, Montreal. They have a bunch of them. They're great. London, I'm sure, is on here. Paris. Yep. This is broken Barcelona up into 6 different places. It starts actually with a map, which gives you the square, which is where each of the 6 different regions are. Firstly, that's awesome. And this is a bunch of this is actually different information on the various kind of customs and etiquette. Like it gives a section on tipping and restaurants and tapa bars and events that happen all throughout the year that you can visit while you're in Barcelona, tourist information and different stuff like that. If we move on to, this is the first section, which is on the Port Vell, La Barceloneta, and El Born district in Barcelona. This is hotels, restaurants, tapa cafes, bars and clubs, and there's also down the bottom here some of the tourist sites that you want to see. But this is a fold-out map of that region. You can see almost every street. They are all perfectly labeled. All of these buildings are labeled, as this one here is the Maritime Museum. And as you can see, I highlighted the route I took. In the last video, I talked about not being a tourist. This helped me not look like a tourist because I could examine it, I could find the streets I was going on to, I would remember them when I saw them, and it was really great. And I mean, if you're looking at this, you look like you're looking at a little readout book with a pull-out thing. Most people aren't going to look at you funny for having a little small book with a nice pull-out page. This is just great, and like I said, you can go through all the different parts of the city. You can see, like I said, I highlighted my map, but this is just really one of the greatest things, and especially at $11. This is one of the most cost-effective ways that you can know where you are in the city, have food and like tourist information at the fingertips. This will fit in most general purses, even small crossbody purses. Get this. So effective, so helpful. It's just great. Please get these. Yay! My last section is on grammar, which is not interesting, and these aren't books that are for like reading. However, they are books that I think will help you while you are studying abroad, because the point of studying abroad is generally because you are a language major or minor and you want to learn the language to use it effectively in your life after school. So the first one is to have a Spanish to English dictionary. Again, this is not necessarily something I would say to bring with you. However, if you're not going to have access to a computer, depending on where you're going, of course, this might be very effective for you. I particularly like this one. It is Merriam-Webster because it includes Latin American Spanish, which you might be able to find in Spain. And it includes a lot of slang words that have become very popular in everyday use. So something like this is one of the smaller sizes. I think I got it for like 10 bucks. Actually, I think it cost me more like 7 because it was on sale. But this one is the way to go. I love it. It's great. Again, not bringing it with me because there are a lot of online tools. Just for online reference while we're at it, wordreference.com is one of the best online dictionaries I have found, because even if there's like a phrase or something you're looking for, there might not be an exact translation for it on the site, but they have forums that will pop up when you search that, and you can literally get like anything you're looking for. Another really useful grammatic tool that, again, I'm not bringing with me because it's massive, is Berlitz's 601 Spanish verbs. They had, 501. I went big and got 601. And this, when I'm here, is so much more effective even than the internet, because I can look up the verb I want in here faster than I can look up the website to find the verb, write in the verb, find the conjugation I'm looking for, and then like wait for it to load. This book literally has 601 verbs, every conjugation that you can go through, and it costs $16 in the US. But this is a grammatical tool that has no substitute. And it comes with a CD. And it comes with Spanish texting notes. Like, did you know that BBR does not mean like be back real soon or anything? It means beber. I did not know that. If you plan on texting your Spanish buddies, this has the key to Spanish texting. So this is really cool. Worth the investment again. Even if you don't use it while you're abroad, it's worth the investment. It's great. Just careful though, it is really heavy. If you plan on packing that, put it in your carry-on because it's gonna add like 5 pounds. The last one, and this one I definitely do plan on bringing with me because I didn't even know they made such a thing, is the Big Red Book of Spanish Idioms. Idioms are the worst part of learning a language. I mean, did you know, like, me cago en la leche? When you translate into English, it makes absolutely no sense. But in here, you learn what it means. And when there are 12,000 expressions, and some of them are from English to Spanish too, this is so useful. I'm so excited that I'm probably going to be able to look up what I don't understand while I'm there. I'm bringing this with me. And this one's a lot lighter than the other one too, so that's a plus. Last but not least, Barnes & Noble also does sell a Spark Charts on Spanish idioms for the basics that you will need every single day. Inside, outside, looks good. And this runs like $4.99. This is really cheap if you don't want to buy the big book there. I got that on Amazon. It says it retails for 14 bucks. Was worth it to me. Like I said, I got it for less than that, but who knows? So Spain has more than one official language in some regions. Normally the Castellano is it's going to get you by in every region. However, if you are going to Galicia, the Basque Country and Navarre, or Catalonia and Valencia and like the Balearic Islands, you are going to encounter different languages that are very, very prominent. Gallego, Basque, and Catalan. If you are going to be studying in one of those regions, I would suggest taking some kind of like a beginner's book with you, even just to be able to understand, or like a dictionary that you'll be able to find when you get there. And learning that language, because your host will probably speak it, is going to be really great. I know Catalan in particular is very vastly spoken. Even if you're in Barcelona, the family you're staying with is probably going to be speaking it. So, I mean, it's good to get something like this. This is by Asimil. Unfortunately, this one is for people who already speak Spanish, because everything it says translates into Spanish. But it's Catalan, sin esfuerzo, and there are others too. I have like a Catalan for everyone that I got off Amazon that was really great. But they're just kind of a basic learner's guide to Catalan that will help you while you're there to read street signs even, or like touristic signs, stuff like that. Just because, especially in Catalonia, it's so popular, like with the independence movement and stuff like that, that they're really trying to maintain the language, and you're going to see that everywhere. So it's only going to help you if you learn this. Another good one to bring with you is Els verbs conjugats, which is 8,800 verbs in Catalan that are all conjugated. For me, I'm bringing this with me when I go, because I have studied some Catalan by myself, and I have not conjugated verbs like I have for all my other languages. So this is going to be really great when you know what you want to say, but you have no idea how to conjugate the verb. And something else, just depending again where you're staying, that's really good is Lonely Planet has all these phrase books for like everything. I got this when I went to Lisbon, and I didn't really need it, because Lisbon was very, very English orientated, and I think somewhere like Madrid or Barcelona you're going to be fine if you're speaking English. However, these people really do always appreciate you trying to speak their language, and these come with like it lays out how to say all the words, so that's really handy. And you have like every situation you can encounter. Tools, just like the basic like days and holidays and hi, how are you, credit cards, like stuff like that. Transportation, border crossing, which is good, shopping, communication, sightseeing, business, stuff for children, meeting different people, talking about your feelings and opinions, going out, art, sports, outdoorsy stuff, eating out, culinary stuff, health essentials, which can be very, very, very important. And then it comes with like a little dictionary in the back too. For $9, this book is going to be irreplaceable if you plan on taking a trip to somewhere that is not like I'm going to Madrid. I am taking this with me for when we take our day trip to Lisbon, despite having, already been to Lisbon and knowing that they speak English. I'm taking this. I plan on visiting Rome, so an Italian one might be really useful. Anything like that. I mean, please just be prepared. I'm sure you can find these in Spain and stuff like that. But I know that these are just nice and cheap and they're very, very effective. So make sure you think of that before you go too. Alright, so I hope you guys have learned something else. I hope one of these books is like really beneficial to you, and I hope you make use of that map book. Isn't that great? But and I think it'll be a while before I have another video out. I don't have any other ideas at the moment until my packing one. However, I might come up with something for next week too. But if not, until I start packing, hasta luego.